So I was browsing through the custom levels because I actually decided to start modding the game instead of just playing vanilla, and I found this level. I have some thoughts on it, and I kind of just wanted to yap about that because I just finished P ranking it, so thought I'd give my thoughts on this level, and that's why there's been less Cybergrind. One, because I'm sick, and two is just because I've been playing custom levels. This level's really cool, and up until a certain point, I think it's really good. It's not super hard, but it's enough to... It's not, like, super easy either. It's just, like, I'm a level. But until a certain point, it's like this, and it's pretty good. Now this room, it's a bit weird. You've got an idle virtue in a small-ish room with that you can't get to until you've killed a few enemies. I think it's fine because the enemies aren't super hard to kill, and it doesn't super impact it because the room isn't too small, but it's not too big either. This room, it's fine. I don't really have anything to say. One cool thing this level did, I think other custom levels do it, is there are red checkpoints that refill your health whenever you go through them. See if I can, whenever I find one next. And it's also underwater, which you probably noticed already, I just forgot to mention it. But I think that's cool because we only have one other underwater level, and that one's not great. But up until a certain point, this one is. Yeah, so my health fully refilled there. I think this is the only time a radiant enemy is used in the level, and it's that one Serb. So Radiance, I guess. Grant made a video on this level, which is where people probably know it from. I just kind of stumbled upon it, and because the file size was large, so I thought, oh, if the file size is large, it must be good. And now we have the custom enemy, which I think is pretty good. It's got a good amount of health, nothing too large, and sometimes you can kill it before that even happens, but it's like a phase 2, I guess. It just... You get it into phase 2, and then it drops this thing on the ground. which heals it, but you can still do damage, which I think is a neat idea. But now, this is when I think the level gets kind of bad. This path here, it looks fine, but you can see there's a ferryman, and he spams his lightning. He spams his lightning in small rooms with an AoE, and plus there's water, so you can't really avoid it because it'll just shock you. This room does it too. Small room, ferryman AoE, and it's full of water. So yeah, I just died from getting shocked. Now, I think this is the worst part of the level by far. I almost just killed myself there, so if I died, I would have only had myself to blame. But I think if the ferryman wasn't sitting there with his lightning, I think this would be fine. But it's just because of the lightning that I think this part kind of sucks. I think that drone's probably there just so you could grapple to it or parry it or something and get your stamina back. Now, these are kind of like vents, they'll push you into the fans if you don't avoid it. The ferryman lightning is still there. You can kind of just jump over them. And now we actually get to kill the fucker. But you can't parry him because it's still underwater. And that'll electrocute you, and I'm pretty sure it'll insta-kill you. Which sucks. But then the blue route is finished. So you could. Oh no, there's still one more thing. The Minotaur shows up. I was pretty surprised that he was here. But it's Minotaur. It's not super hard. You could end here, but if you want the P rank, you got to do the full red path too. And the red path is mostly better, except for one room, and it's not this room. This room's fine. It's a bit weird because you've got the idols that just I don't know what the reason is why things get idled when they do. It's probably a time thing. Like you haven't killed them fast enough, so maybe it appears, or maybe it's just each level of the tree or something. I don't know. But it's not too bad. Only thing, it can be annoying when there's a bunch of puppets around and they get in the way of the idol. Like, I think it just idled the puppet. But now this room it looks really cool, like the rest of the level, but then a deliverance spawns, and it just feels a tiny bit cramped. I wasn't able to kill it quick enough there, but it's pretty easy to if you just walk up to it and shotgun swap. Now this is the room I was talking about, the room that I don't like, because Gabe 1 appears, and there is a small, like, thing that blocks your healing. So, when that thing is active, you just can't heal. And I think that also sucks, because you want to be fighting Gabe, not this thing. And the floor isn't instant death, I don't think. I think it just hurts you, which is nice. But, yeah, there's no floor, so it's... I used to think the floor was... the no floor was bad, but I think it's fine now. I just don't like the fact that you can't heal when the Flesh Panopticon eye thing is there. Now this room is also fine. An idled virtue spawns. The idol's down here. Then when you destroy it, some enemies spawn. So it's not the biggest deal. But it's just a... like, virtues are annoying. Nobody likes them. But it's still used fine here. And then these rooms are actually pretty tame. There's only a few fodder enemies like soldiers and strays. The most dangerous enemy that shows up in this part of the level is mannequins. Right here, and there's 2 of them. So I think it's a nice break at least. And then there's this room, the last room of the red path. It's sort of like the first room, but more of it. If you can kill one of these and get it to fall into the ocean, it'll die. Or the water. Like that, it just died. So that's pretty cool. And then the tree disappears and you can just fall down here and be right back at the start. And then that's the P rank route. And I've only done the P rank route, so I don't know if it just ends the level if you only get 1 skull, but once you do finish, you can go along here, and this sort of gives you, like, lore. It gives you lore, and there's another book over here that tells you about the creator. I haven't read all of this, but it says that this is a guy who did the Envy port to the revamp. It's pretty cool. I did just test it, and it does indeed end if you only place down 1 skull. If you place down both skulls, it transports you to the little Easter egg end, but if you just place down 1 skull, then you just end it like this. So that's pretty neat. But yeah, I think the times aren't too strict. If you go fast, you'll get it. But I do not like the blue skull route where it just throws a ferryman on an unkillable ferryman and just spams you with lightning in small rooms and water. I think that actually sucks and is the worst part about this. But it's incredibly cool. There's like the themes. I like how it's blue, and then on the red skull route you get the red in it, like the red colors, and then it sort of blends together. It is incredibly cool. I like all the floating dead bodies in the early parts of the level. So I might talk about more custom levels. I probably will. I'll definitely talk about more main levels, but for now that's it. Another thing I wanted to add is this level gave me a nosebleed. This is future me, like 10 seconds after the recording. Yeah, this level gave me a nosebleed because I was really stressed when going for the P rank. P2 hasn't done that. Brutal P2 hasn't done that. 1-E hasn't done that. 0-E hasn't done that. No other custom level has done that. This one has. So, yeah. This is editing me again, like 10 seconds in the future. I forgot to say what the level's called. It's called Tempest, but spelt with a 7 at the front, so it's like 7EMPEST. Which is a bit weird, but yeah, looks cool.